after he was done with the band, that's almost 7 years from the last record, and at that point we decided that in 2013, hey, let's start writing songs for this new album.
Yeah.
And basically we started recording it in 2014. So it was a very long time, but everybody was pretty busy during all those years. It wasn't not a situation where we stopped and took a big break from music and went and did other things. It was basically we were all working full time on music that whole time. So.
All right. So when Sully was in Pennywise during that time, have you thought of that he will continue with Pennywise and you have to choose a new singer, or you already know that he's going to be there only for one record?
We didn't know anything about the situation, and we were. I was expecting him to stay in Pennywise, to be honest, and I knew. Even though he was in Pennywise, we were probably going to have the opportunity at some point to make a new record for Ignite, but in the end, he ended up stopping singing in Pennywise, and we were able to start doing Ignite full time again. So, there was no really plan of what was going to happen, and we just kind of let things happen naturally. So, this is what happened.
All right. So as you said before, you start thinking about this new album in 2013. You have 13 songs on this new album. All these songs were from that time, or do you have some songs that were from previous recording sessions, or that you have there just stored?
A couple of the songs were written in, maybe just one. I think one of the songs was written in 2008, and everything else was written pretty much for after 2012. So, we had about 40 or 50 songs that we'd written for the record, and we ended up recording 16 of them. So there was a lot of demos. As you know, with the technology now, with everybody having a recording studio in their computer, it's a little easier process to create music nowadays. Well, not create it, but actually to record it. It's a little easier process. So that gave us a lot of many more options to write music with.
Right. So people have to wait till January to listen to the album, but if you can give them a preview of how it sounds, would you say that is a normal progression of what you did on Darkest Days? It sounds on this line, or is something new?
Well, I think basically the way that we write, the way we compose the songs kind of is the normal way we did it, and we all contribute. Each guy in the band writes music, and Zoe writes most of the lyrics, but we write some of the lyrics as well, and it's a collaboration of everybody's efforts coming together. So that was pretty much the same. The process, other than the recording itself, was pretty much the same. But every album's different, and we always try and make the new album for Ignite exciting and different than the previous album, and something new for everybody to hear. Because for us, it would be pretty boring to try and just make a copy of the previous record.
Yeah.
Our Darkest Days was very successful for us, but just to make Our Darkest Days Part 2, you would never have the magic of the album that you did before, because it's a different time, it's a different place. There's different emotions in the musicians and different life experiences. So you have to let it naturally happen. You have to let it, the songs that are in front of you need to become great songs. So it's always fun to see the direction of the music and the vocals and the lyrics when we're writing a record, because that's one thing that you don't have 100% control over. Sometimes the songs and the direction of the album goes on its own.
Right. Okay, so since 2006 that you started touring with Our Darkest Days, you have played a lot of times during these years those songs and other songs as well. So it must feel good to have new songs to play live, right?
It feels great. It doesn't feel good. It feels great. This is the first time in 10 years we can go on tour and play new songs. And, we always tried to play one, maybe two songs from the new record over the last year. But you know how it is when you go to a concert. You don't want to hear 5 new songs from your band that you like. You want to hear the classic songs. So this is going to be cool because now people will actually know the new material and sing along with it, and it's going to be exciting for us to play these new songs in front of people and have them know the song. So that's really cool.
Great. So the first single of the album is going to be Nothing Can Stop Me, right?
Yep.
It was an easy decision to put this song as a single, or it was a tough decision?
Yeah, it's always difficult because you never really know. It's interesting when you write a record. The people in the band have their favorite songs, but sometimes you never really know what the people are going to like. And for the members of Ignite, we all have different favorite songs on the record. So we had actually everybody in the band agreed that that song was one of everybody's favorites. So yeah, but you never know. It's interesting. Music is a crazy thing where you never know what people are going to like, and you never know what songs are going to be the favorite one. And it's always interesting to see when you go play the live concerts what songs people really react to.
Good. The worlds of metal and punk rock sometimes are divided, but in your case, it just seems to have a huge following also in the metal scene. For example, Machine Head just covered one of your songs on Our Darkest Days, right?
Yeah.
So it impressed you that metal bands also like Ignite?
I think it doesn't really surprise me too much because all the guys in Ignite come from metal backgrounds. So Zoe was a huge Iron Maiden fan. Our drummer really is a big power metal fan. Our guitar player Brian is really into Metallica and Megadeth and Slayer and Pantera. And there's these metal roots in Ignite that are there. That and I think with Zoe's voice, it's such a unique voice that it appeals to a lot of metal fans.
Yeah. Great.
He's got more of a metal voice than a punk rock voice, in my opinion. And he always gets compared to the singer from Scorpions by the German fans. And so I think there's some appeal definitely to metal fans for Ignite.
Right. So talking about Sally's Boys, and I was there this summer when you play at Heavy Fest in the UK, and it was really a shame that Solly was. I think he has a cold and he couldn't make the show properly, and he apologized with the audience, and he said that he's coming back to the UK to doing a longer set and everything. So normally these kind of things happens when you play a lot, right? So are you planning to do also a really long tour next year?
Yeah, I mean we're going to tour as much as it's possible. It's always difficult, when you play live because your singer, his instrument is his voice, and it can be many shows. If you play many shows in a row, you have the chance of the voice to get a little weaker at times, or if you get sick. So that's always. I think that happens with every band. There's times where the vocalist struggles with his voice live, but it's just part of music.
Good. So in January, you're coming back to Europe. You are doing the Persistence tour in Europe. Well, there is no show confirmed in Spain, but we heard some rumors that you're coming back to Spain in January as well. So can you tell us something about it?
I don't think we're coming back in January to Spain, but we definitely will be there at some point during the year. If not festivals, then we'll definitely do a proper proper club shows. Yeah, I mean, we don't have the entire tour plan in front of us yet, 100% solid, but but at some point, I mean, we love playing Spain, so we definitely are going to come back to Spain and play shows at the first chance we get.
Great. Well, Brett, just finished the interview. I would like to know if now that this album took you so much time to write because you have another issues like solely being in Pennywise and everything,
Yep.
do you have more songs than these 13 songs? And also, if you will write another album, let's say in a couple of years, just to have fun, to have more material besides
Yeah,
War Against You.
We've actually, it's interesting, we've actually kind of already started writing some new songs for the new one because we were laughing after we said, hey man, we can't take 10 years again. We don't even want to take 5. It's, we want to do something, you know, in a couple of years. So, but I think, I don't think that we'll use any of the material that we didn't use on this album. It always feels good to write fresh new material for, the new record. So I'm sure when we start working on the new album, most of it will be new stuff.
Oh, great.